If I would have listened to the naysayers, I would still be in the Austrian Alps yodeling. You can do it, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, that's a bad impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that says a lot about when people are aiming towards being successful in whatever they want to be successful in. In this path of creating that wonderful life for yourself, celebrating your failures and passing through your fears, you will have naysayers and you will need to learn to brush them off. Welcome to Raw, Real Absolute Wisdom. I am your host, Rohit Basi. In 2014, when she was only 28, she was acknowledged as Singapore's youngest business guru, and her story was told in a publication, The Lady Boss, which is available in bookstores. In 2019, she bagged the award as Asia's Greatest CEO 2019, awarded by URS and Asia One. She has invested and incubated several companies, including a baking studio, beauty academy, tuition centers, art schools, baby good marketplace, and photo studio. Welcome to the show, Leza. She is just not a business lady. She goes beyond that. Her passion is her children, and she is an amazingly loving mother. We welcome Leza to the show. Thank you, Leza, for being on Raw, Real Absolute Wisdom. For the record, which I ask everyone, what is your full name?
So my name is Leza Klenk.
Yep.
So you can can find me on LinkedIn as well by Leza Klenk, and hopefully you can stay connected on social media.
Yeah. So Leza, you are based here in Singapore?
Yes, the C-levels and myself are all based here in Singapore, but we operate globally in more than 17 countries, and our corporate employees itself is in more than 14 countries.
Okay.
So our people are spread all over the world, but I'm looking forward to be based in Germany in the future, out of Bavaria. So
Okay.
within the next 12 months, I would say that we're opening our second headquarters there,
Okay.
in Bavaria.
Why Germany? Why Europe?
Europe is the only continent we have not really touched on yet. So we are in the US, we're in Canada, we're in Australia, New Zealand. We're about to enter Middle East as well.
Okay.
But the thing is, in the Europe side, it is so far from Asia to give support. So we realized that when we open up US and Canada, so these two countries are not doing as well as we wanted to, because the support from Asia is way too far because of the time zone.
Yeah.
So we thought that, hey, going into Europe, why not we set up something in Bavaria,
Okay.
so that become the support pillar for the operations happening on the other side of the world.
Okay.
So I want to be there half the year at least to get to make sure that in the first 2 years operation, things are going as how we operate in Asia. So to make sure that everybody is doing as they should to give the support.
So in Asia, you're striving and you're thriving. You want to move into, get into that striving and thriving mode in Europe. What is that you do exactly?
So a little bit about my company. So I'm the CEO of Spendless Group.
Okay.
So Spendless Group is made of 3 components. Firstly is the Spendless Cosmetics.
Okay.
So the Spendless Cosmetics is actually a beauty tech platform. A lot of people talk about fintech, edtech.
Yes.
So this is beauty tech. Okay, not many people are in it yet.
A new word.
Yeah, a new word, beauty tech. So what we do is we connect beauty merchants together with beauty resellers.
Okay.
So the beauty resellers will be the one that will bring consumers or customers back to the merchants.
Okay.
So our job as a company is to support our beauty resellers by giving them a website, e-commerce platform, by giving them incentives, motivation, and empower them through education.
Okay.
So we make individual people become resellers and influencers.
Okay.
And naturally, we connected with beauty merchants to tap on their network. So that way, instead of spending thousands of dollars, the beauty merchants is now able to tap into personal networks via the influence of our resellers.
Okay.
And the sales conversion is higher, naturally.
Okay.
So that's one of the business. And of course, the other business, we also recently invest in EdTech because we thought, hey, if somebody becomes a reseller, they need training.
Yes.
They need to, hey, I'm making $100 a month, but how can the company help me get to 1,000 sales a month? So we do training via online webinars. So we recently launched Spendless Academy that connects with more than 60 trainers globally every month, running webinar courses from digital marketing, business planning, finance acumen. So that way, we also support and upgrade our resellers so they continue to be empowered, earning income while learning more about business.
Okay. Now, the Spendless cosmetic side of things, would you say this is a MLM or it's completely different?
To clear the air, this is absolutely nothing to do with MLM. We don't even own or develop our products yet. So basically, this is simply a referral program. So you can either sign up as a reseller and start earning money. So you're running a business automatically, or you can also refer us to somebody else who might need this kind of platform. So there's only one level of marketing, which is the referral level, which is standard in most affiliate marketing business. But there's no MLM, there is no pyramid, there's nothing like that. But we do offer cash bonus and incentives for people who actually excel in program as top resellers.
Okay, so these resellers, who are these resellers?
So we discover a gap in the market that people are constantly looking for side income, and these people are not those with 5K income and above. Okay, these people are usually made up of stay-home moms who are always on their smartphone and Facebook every day. Students, uni students looking to earn extra income to make up the bills. Also, young corporate professionals looking to travel more. As well as young married couples looking to save up money for a mortgage for a house. And people with debt, so looking for extra channel of income without compromising their lifestyle.
Okay, so you've got quite a mixed profile. Why do such a business? What made you do this?
So how it started out was, of course, a business, funny enough, always starts from the reason to why we want, how does it affect us in one way or another. If you believe what I said, people normally create business out of desperate measures. It's when they really have to, that's when they start something, and then they grow it from there. So it happens the same way for me as well, because being a stay-home mom, before I actually ventured in a lot of business, I was looking for extra source of income. And I thought, what would be a product that people will definitely buy? And beauty is something people have been investing in themselves for a long time. Because even if they're without a job, they need to invest in beauty to look good enough for an interview. So it's a constant investment. So people are spending money on facial, on products, on makeup. So I thought, let's sell makeup. So as a mother back then, I Googled and I found some suppliers in the US. And I bought a box of cosmetics with my money and I started selling to my friends and my family. So I did that in a physical presence, not on social media per se, and I realized how fast this makeup gets snapped up. Because what I ordered from the US is far cheaper than what they buy at retail stores. And they also buy it because they trust me as a person and they want to support my business. And I realized very quickly I was making $500 at least a month consistently. So a couple of years down the line, when I start to discover more about tech, I realized, why not we put tech together and we make this possible for every single mother. So we handle the logistics, the inventory, the e-commerce system, and all they do is the marketing aspect, which they're already doing by being present on Facebook every day anyway. So we made that possible by allowing them to become business resellers, business owners almost immediately.
So you said something on the lines of, out of desperation, you started a business. What was that specific? If we dig deeper, that desperation, what happened?
So I got married really early when I was 20. I had dropped out.
I thought you were 20 now.
No, I'm 22 now. No, I'm kidding. So I had to drop out of school because my parents couldn't afford university. So I started to work for a little bit at the retail store selling drinks for $4.50 an hour. That's not sustainable at all. At some point, I got married at 20 and I had kids. So when I was a stay-home mother, I realized how expensive it gets raising children and the troubles that other mothers have as well in terms of meeting the bills, making ends meet. We can't really go out because we have children to look after and they're small. And so we're relying on a sole breadwinner income, which may or may not be substantial. So by the time I hit my 70th of marriage, I realized that I have not yet afforded my first home.
Okay.
So I'm struggling with bills. I don't have savings, and I realized that I'm going into debt if I keep borrowing people's money. So then I realized that I need to invest whatever money I have, $100 or $200, to start my own business, and that's
Okay.
why I got started with selling cosmetics. I've not looked back since, and just because of that income revenue, it has changed a lot in the way I see business, which also opened up doors for me to venture in other kind of businesses apart from just cosmetics distribution, and that's
Okay.
how I got here as a CEO.
Okay, so it was that emotional drive, what was happening at home, for the children, for yourself, to
Yes.
go
So
for.
yes, it started out with targeting only $200 extra income a month.
Okay.
Going to now empowering 25,000 women in 14 countries.
Wow.
So that's how it started. If $200 a month for a stay-at-home mother creates a great impact in my life, I could pay bills, I could take my kids to see the doctor if they're sick. I realized how impactful it is to another 25,000 women. And that's why I'm on this mission to make women become financially capable
Okay.
without leaving home.
Okay, interesting. So you're at a certain level at the moment, as far as your business is concerned. On this path of what happened? You started off, you saw the $200, you expanded. Any failures which occurred, which you said, and you were like, what the hell's going on?
Well, honestly, I didn't expect business was going to be really hard. I just wanted to let people know that every time you see somebody with a good position, a sizable business, a lot of employees, we are still not short of many difficulties, struggles, and issues that we face every day. So when I started out and earning $200 a month, I thought, hey, business is for me, right? Business is for me. I'm good at it. This is what I'm supposed to do. It sounds easier than a teaching job. So I think I'm going to pursue this. And so I take a lot of risk reinvesting every money I earn into growing more businesses. It started out with product distribution. So I developed products and supplied to department stores. And then I went on to invest in brick and mortar. I owned at that time tuition centers, art schools,
Okay.
baking studio,
Wow.
makeup studios. So I had all of that in the next 4 years span. Couple of investors came in the picture to make sure that they can support me financially, and in 2014 I converted to invest into tech. So I sold all my brick and mortar and went into tech and invest most or all of my money into spendless, which is what it is today.
Okay.
The failures that I have is a lot. Okay, one of the things that I truly struggle with as a homegrown business is we're not used to leading people or project management. So as the company grows, you have to delegate more work because there's more stuff to do, and you need to build your trust in other people to execute it. So you have expectations to manage, you have performance to analyze, and you have people's behavior you need to tolerate to a certain extent. At the same time, you also have to lead people. Both the company goals and their personal goals has to be aligned in order for everybody to win in business. And I didn't realize that could also be taxing and tiring. So one of the things that I learned from my past mistakes was sometimes making people stay longer than they should, because there's always a risk as a founder whenever we invest capital into human resources. Because if they're not being productive, the business doesn't grow. In fact, it gets halted or moved backwards. So that's the thing that I paid a price for in 2014 when my company went bankrupt.
Oh wow.
So we lost more than $500,000 a year, and by the time all our assets has been seized, we're still short of at least $300,000. So we had to accept bankruptcy. And after we streamlined and had to fire everybody. And the reason for that failure, when I look back now, is because leadership was a totally big challenge, and the people that I hired wasn't a perfect fit for the business. So now I realize the importance of building a human resource structure. They are representative of your business. So if they don't sell, or they don't want, or they're not dedicated to the business, no matter how hard you try to make them, motivated, you have at some point give that seat to someone else. And then so I got tougher in business. And I remember when I was bankrupt, I came home and my mom asked me, what are you going to do now? And I said, run another business.
And what was the reaction?
And she goes like, but you just failed. And I said, yeah, and that's great, because when I failed, I will find out what exactly drive me to rock bottom, so it'll never happen again. So that's what I did in the whole year of 2015. I went back into every single fault that happened in 2014 and 13. and I found all the solutions that I should have done it differently. And that's how I changed the way I do business, raise more capital funding, and be more wiser at making decisions.
Okay.
So the failure was really painful if you're talking about personal assets at stake and loss. So the family suffers with me at my decisions. So which is now I was very careful with the way I do business now, making sure that it's limited liability to ensure that the business progresses and all loss is retained. It's not affecting personal stand.
Yeah.
So I learned it the hard way, I must say.
Okay.
But I recover. So to me, one advice that I give to people, that your failure is what builds your wisdom.
Okay.
If you avoid finding out what caused you that failure, then you'll never get wiser. Because every setback comes with a lesson and you have to find it. So instead of thinking that it pulls you back, actually it propels you forward. Because the next round of investors is going to be investing in a wiser you. And they also realize that, wait a minute, if she never gave up at a point of bankruptcy, she'll never give up with whatever investment we make on her now. And that's the assurance every investor wants. They want to fund smart people. So you don't have to be rich to be invested in. You just have to be smart and wise.
Okay, interesting. So
That's what failures gave you.
Yeah. Now, your family setup. How is your family setup then?
So my family, okay, this is a very great question. I would love to share this because not many people ask me. So I was married twice.
Yep.
So the first time I got married was when I was 20. At some point, we decided to go separate ways when I was 27. And people might think, oh, that's going to be like a harsh divorce, as people always assume it would be, right?
Yeah.
But actually, my ex-husband and I are best friends. So eventually we worked together. At some point I told him, okay, I'm going to build a business. And I said, you have to stay home. So I told him, you quit your job. Okay? Because if you don't quit your job, I cannot do a business. Because someone's going to look after my kids. And he actually quit his job. So he quit his career, his aspirations and everything because he believed that I could achieve something. And this is me, a stay-home mom of 7 years with no degree. Okay, so I'm not sure why. So I appreciate people have that belief because of the determination that I have, right? Despite not having all the support knowledge. And I did, and I went to do business, and for 5 years he stayed home for me.
Okay.
After 5 years, I raised money, and that was the first time I raised a huge sum of $500,000. And I told him, I think you should have a career now. Okay, the kids are older, and so I invited him to be hired as our CTO. So he is still a CTO. It's been 4 years, and he managed all the technology aspect of our business. So regardless the fact that I was not married to him anymore, and he's got remarried since as well. But we work together cohesively while we co-parent our children because to us the business is what has been feeding us for a long time, and it is our commitment to make sure it continues to feed our children in the future. So I'm very grateful for that. So on a positive note, after that I remarried last year. And again, when I met my husband, I was telling him about my business and what I do and stuff like that. And he also quit his job where he was in Singapore as a sales manager, and he joined in our company. He graduated Masters in Business in Finance. So he came into our company right now as our CFO, second in command after me. So all three of us are in the business as a CEO, CFO, and a CTO. My ex-husband, my husband, to support me to make sure that the business is growing to the way I wanted it. So my dreams, how I want to get, where I want to get, and how to get there. They're going to make sure that okay, we need to develop this the way she wants it. She might fire us. No, I mean, okay, so it becomes like a family business. But one thing that I like about it is it teaches me that no matter how sour a relationship can become, there's still goodness out of it. You just have to see it differently.
Very true.
You must understand in life, not every loops and circles can be closed.
Yes.
So you have to let it go at some point, move on, see the good things out of it, and you still can thrive together. Okay, and it's not about competition all the time.
Yes.
It's just about collaboration,
Yes.
and everybody wins, and it's okay for everybody to win. So when I realized that if I can turn my ex-husband to become a best friend or make them work together, I realized that any difficulties with other kind of relationship should be easy for me to manage. So it helped me build up myself as well.
That's actually very beautiful because you see a lot of people who go through this separation, through a divorce. They are logs ahead. They are at each other, and they will find anything to slander.
Yes, and the kids get stressed.
Yeah. You know, but so it's very well done over here. I think other people could learn from this from a mature perspective. Is it's the beginning of a new relationship.
Exactly, and we always say that we love our children a lot, right? In order for us to prove that exactly was to overcome all the difficulties and indifferences we have with our former partner. We have to let it go in order to give our children the best parenting. So instead of them saying that, hey, I'm brought up in a broken home, they go away and say that, hey, I'm brought up in two supporting homes. And that's what we want, two supporting homes for them. It's more than one normal home. So that's what we're achieving as a family.
So how many children do you have?
At the moment, 3.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I will stop there. I love parenting. I love motherhood.
Yeah.
It's challenging as well when you run a business, but I believe that I would like to have more children in the future. And a big and happy family. At the end of the day, I always tell people that business is business. But it's actually the relationship with your children, your offspring, your next generation is really what fulfills you as a person. Because one day business will end. One day whatever status you get, whatever title you have in your company will end. But your role as a parent always stays.
Yeah, it's interesting. A parent and a child relationship. No, I mean I see it with my parents. No matter how old you are, you're still a child to them.
Yes. You're still a child to them. They still care about you. They let you make a decision, but they still care about you. And I want to be that for my children. At the same time as well, being in business, honestly, because in business, right, you build connections, you have network, and you do a lot of business. You are able to create a community that might support your children's aspirations in the future. So recently, when I told you my daughter is starting a slime business, right?
Yeah.
And usually a slime business would, sell online, couple of friends.
And for the listeners, how old is she?
She is 9, turning 10.
And she's starting her own slime business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the advantage that she has is that her mother has connections to supply with department stores.
Yep.
So, but of course, we're not giving it to her at ease. So we're teaching her how to poach properly, do a presentation properly. But by being in business opens up opportunities for our next generation to tap into. So the connections that we have now may be useful to us, may also be useful to the next generation. So I'm hoping to see her product on the retail stores by Christmas.
Beautiful, beautiful. So there's been. So I've been reading up on you, and we've had discussed this before as well.
Yes.
There has been negative press about you as well. How do you manage that? And how do you pass through those negative places? I mean, it's been a long time you've been in business, so I'm sure there was a certain way you managed it before. And how do you do it now? What's the journey been of managing that negative press about you?
Yes. When I first started the business, I was naive to think that everybody would think greatly of me because I'm constantly hardworking, I'm doing my best to do things, and I make decisions that's best for as many people as possible. We always have this thing that we want to please everybody, but knowing that we shouldn't and we couldn't anyway. So I learned that later on, and especially being a public figure, for whatever reason, I'm just here to share my content, and you would realize it, Rohit, that people made me a public figure. I'm only a public figure because people chose to follow me. And I'm questioning myself every time, why do that many people decided to? And I realized that there's pros and cons of being a public figure. And that's what I wasn't preparing myself for. So when I get allegations or when I get people giving opinions of myself that's negative, or people are being condescending to what I do, people disagreeing with my decisions, in the beginning, I find it hard to take. And so I get a little bit depressed and affected by this behavior that ruins my entire day in productivity. And then later on, I kind of realized that I cannot go on defending myself and wasting that much energy every time people feel they have a standpoint of me. And I realized that whatever that I feel I need to answer, I will. And any small talks or small opinions that people randomly give, I just have to let it go. I have to take it, accept it, and I just let it go. And especially knowing subconsciously, as long as consciously you know you are not that person as how people describe you, then you just move on and continue to be a better person than the person you are. I don't read anymore most of the negative things. Anything that is affecting the business per se, vicious ones.
Yeah.
My lawyers are on it,
Okay.
if it need be, because it's just for the company, protection.
Okay.
But personally, I don't bear grudges. Actually,
Okay.
I never see people who say bad things about me as my enemies. And if there's a potential way that people change and want to do business, I'm always open to work with a lot of people. So I wouldn't, if you ask me that, Lisa, would you want your children to be famous or to be public figure? I said, not really. I said, you don't need to be a public figure to do well in business. And you shouldn't focus on being a public figure or having a lot of followers, because the implications are pretty harsh. You just need to look for the right community, like-minded individuals that lift you. And these people will make you successful, and you give value back to them. So that's it.
So I've seen one of the things which I've seen is that you go around doing a lot of talks,
Yes.
and usually it's around women empowerment.
Yes.
What is your take on women empowerment? Why do such a thing?
Well, I believe for me as well, right? One of the reasons in my personal life, I realized that I went through divorce seamlessly. I own my own properties. I have my own income to invest in whatever my children needs are. It's because I'm empowered as a woman. Imagine if a woman is not financially capable, is not education adequate, is not having the right connections and network to support her, no support. They are always in a position of not being able to be successful. They will be bitter, they will be miserable, they will be failing, they will not be able to earn an income. So divorce gets even harder for them. Getting a job gets harder for them. Getting the right people to support their business is harder for them. So when we empower women, which means that we empower them from educational and experience sharing, we empower them from giving them opportunities that make them financially capable. We actually turn them to become independent. So tomorrow, if anything in their personal life didn't work out, their marriage didn't work out, they lost their last career that they've worked for the last 10 years, or they go through difficulties in their life, they handle it in a very different manner. Okay, and I need women to be happy and successful, because when they are independent and successful, they raise happy children in happier households. That means the next generation will form a happy community, which my children will be living in as well. And that's the community we want. Why do we want our children to live in a negative community? So it starts from empowering their parents now. And people underestimate women. Okay? People say, women are not important in business. Okay? They're not even holding the most important position. But people forget that even men are building business. It's the woman who has the highest influence on the children. So the next generation is not based on men's influence, but on women. So you need to make women highly capable and adequate.
Okay.
And that's what women empowerment is for me. I cannot teach every woman I meet, but I can only provoke their thoughts to think that they will have to think for themselves that, hey, I need to upgrade. Hey, I need to upskill my career. Hey, I need to go out there and build something for myself. And that's what I want to leave behind. Impactful thoughts that they can ponder upon and take action when they're ready for it.
Okay, so that would be, you could say, your legacy.
Yes, that would be my legacy. And believe it or not, I think even now, right, a couple of people come out after a few years, especially students even. I went to university, and they came 3 years later after they graduate, and they said to me, Miss Leza, it was your time in NUS that inspired me to start a business. And I'm running a company now with employees, with products, because of what you say. And you realize how impactful 10 minutes can be on someone. That they have made decisions with you in consideration. What would Lisa think? What would Lisa do? What can I learn from Lisa that I can apply in what I do? And I realized that that's the legacy you leave behind. They may not publicly tell people that you've changed their lives, but just letting you know, or just even if they don't let you know, it doesn't matter. You know that what you tell them, the effect goes a long way for someone else. That is my personal achievement.
We see social media being a great tool to leverage personal brand, to leverage business, or leverage products and services. At the same time, it's also been seen it has a negative effect. And especially when you've got the young generation, and I'm not talking about just young generation, you see it with people like us as well, even seniors, it does have an impact. What is your take on especially the people who are in business or are at that very young age getting influenced by social media, but not in the right way?
That's worrying, isn't it?
It is worrying.
Especially vulnerable, innocent minds.
Yes.
Okay, reading all this information. I suggest as parents, firstly, you keep track about what your children actually read on social media. That's the problem with social media. It has a lot of content. It has unfiltered content.
Yes.
Okay, and unfortunately, the one that is the negative and condescending ones is more viral
Yes.
than the positive ones. So the negative ones is louder. So they get the attention of especially young children who has not been able to analyze what's right and what's wrong. Okay, it's really a difficult thing to do, I must say, to analyze. Even us right now, we get confused on what's real news and fake news.
Yes.
Is this real? Is this celebrity really dead? Or stuff like that. And then we realize it's just somebody made up. So bearing this in mind, knowing how social media works, which means people, every single person, without being a qualified journalist, is able to put out content.
Yeah.
Once we know that for sure, we second question the content. So that's what we all should do. If somebody tells us something, we need to learn to question where this source potentially come from, where this news potentially come from. And we need more than just a one-time read to affirm to us that this news is real. If I read something, a feedback of somebody about somebody, that's not enough for me to believe it. I have to do, in case I want to do work with this third person, I will do the initial due diligence wherever possible that's not even social media related. Because real news is different from social media. Okay, so from there I make a better judgment of the person and decide whether I still want to work with that person. So social media influence, as long as you remember that everything you read is not possibly entirely true. I'm not saying it could be entirely fake as well, but just remember people have not even the permission. People have the freedom to alter, disseminate, copy, edit. So you just need to be careful based on what you read. And very often, out of 100%, maybe 30%, we tend to believe things that's not even true and realize it only later on. It's all part of the learning game. But I personally, one thing my advice is, remember that what you speak of other people reflects more of yourself. So if somebody's talking about someone else or something negative, it's usually reflected on the person's character that typed it in. So I will be more careful of the person who wrote about it more than the person he write about.
Okay.
So
that's a very good way to look at it.
Yes, and social media is not everything. Do not think that, okay, if I want to do business, I must be the best in social media. I must be on social media every day. It's not true. Okay, opportunities actually come. Opportunities may start from social media, but they close by physical presence. At the end of the day, people really need to believe who you are in person. That matches your personality online anyway. Because anybody can become anybody on the internet. Anybody can type anything. So if, let's say, an opportunity strikes out, we met on LinkedIn, okay, but nothing can happen until we meet in person.
Absolutely, yeah.
So people need to know that personal effect still must happen for any transaction to take place. Trust can start a little online, but it's what you do offline that generates it. So don't think that your life revolves on social media, and without it, your business is going to die. It doesn't happen that way. You just need to be smart what you can get out of this, and how you can, grow that opportunity elsewhere.
I mean, that's a very nice, great way you've put it, because I see a lot of people who are in business, especially startups, or people who are already existing in the social media fad.
Yes.
It's a great tool, but they think they have to be on there. One of my friends, he says, external validation. People are looking just for external validation. Unnecessary external validation. So it's interesting. So that you're saying, yes, you need the social media, but it's not the whole package.
Yes.
It's the face-to-face interaction which is very, very crucial. That physical connection is very important. Now, you have children growing in your household. What are the values which you give them, or what would you like to see for them as their life grows?
So the things, my children are homeschooled. Okay, for the reason because I wanted to be one of their major influence in the way their thought processes work. Because obviously in school it can be different in the way the education system encourage the children to think. I wanted my children to think more from an entrepreneurial standpoint. So entrepreneurial standpoint doesn't mean that they have to be entrepreneurs, but which means including being creative. Okay, if you have a solution and a problem, you do not not give up, but you go all ways and means to try to find the solutions for the problem. And it could be an entirely brand new solution, no one has done it before. You have to believe that. Just because this problem wasn't solved by 10,000 other people doesn't mean that you cannot find a solution for it. So that's one thing I inculcate to my children. And number two, I want to let my children know that the work etiquette is very important, that you are hardworking, okay, and you are trustworthy. These two things are the most important thing when it comes to do business.
Okay.
No one's going to invest in you if you're not going to work hard. Because people want to give you a run for their money, they need to make sure that you also are working hard. But at the same time, working hard doesn't include giving labor hours. I wanted my children to have the necessary skills to be able to upkeep with the demands in the future. There are certain skills like the people need to focus more on, like relationship building, communication, which the schools are not necessarily teaching at the moment, but which the parents can inculcate in the children. Because I see people with academic qualified but unable to blend in a networking environment, unable to cooperate in a project team. So you want them to be able to communicate well in order to do it. And one last thing that I always tell my children, I don't care what you learn, okay, but it matters to me you're constantly learning. Okay, I don't care if you pick up a language that I don't speak. It's okay. You want to learn Spanish? I don't speak. It's okay. I'm not saying that you have to learn what I learn. You may learn something entirely different from me. Be a musician, learn the piano. It's okay. But you must constantly learning. And you have to ask yourself every day, what did I learn today?
Yes.
So, and I told them that people who study degrees, okay, and if they stop learning, they're still below you. As long as you upkeep the ongoing, consistent process, constantly learning, you'll be surprised at the end of the year, the person you've become, an entirely different person with better skills, knowledge, and capacity to do more. And life is more than just exist. So I always say that if you have no money to give people, then share knowledge, share experience, share expertise, help someone else. If you want somebody to do something for you, do something for them first. And consciously, people will always come back to give you help when you need it. So that's how I want them to work. Yeah.
This is very, very, very beautiful. Now, you seem like a very passionate mother, okay, and your awareness is quite high.
Yes.
Now, for parents whose awareness is not that high, what can they do to develop and grow their children?
Well, actually depends. Some parents' awareness are not high. Its reason is because they have limited themselves to put themselves in situations where they can analyze things. Okay, a lot of people are confined, for example, within a job that's 9 to 6 and they attend to family and that's about it. They limit themselves from traveling, communicating with other ethnicity or culture. They don't do social work and see third world countries. They, for example, they don't put themselves in networking events where they're uncomfortable. So honestly, my advice to the mothers, the parents are, the moment you realize that you don't have enough awareness to pass on to your children, you need to build that in yourself first. You cannot teach something you don't quite believe in.
True.
You cannot pass down something you don't have. So you need to develop it. So every time I think about what I want to teach my children, and I realize that I don't have that skill, I find it, develop it, hone it, polished it, and then I pass it on to my children in a well-packaged manner that they can easily, I see, I get it now. I see, mom. So that's how I cannot just say my children, for example, chase your dreams. I'm at home, they're not doing anything. But she say, you tell us to go out and chase our dreams. But mom, for 20 years you've not done nothing. You just be at home. Your children will soon realize, smart enough to see this difference, you know, of what the world is outside and what you are as a person. And that's why I am still working, because I don't want my children to see me as just limiting myself at home and then asking them to fly their wings up there.
So
that's how.
lead by example.
Yes, leading by example is the only way of parenting. So the moment a parent realizes the shortfall of the knowledge or skills that they don't have, then they should find it. Okay, so if your children ask you a question, Mom, can you tell me more about the solar system? As a parent, you cannot say don't know. You can either teach them where to find the information, or you find it with them, so you learn together with them. So at the end of the day, both of you know.
Yeah.
So that's how it should be in terms of parenting.
Interesting. So you talk about, so the reason why I asked about your children is you learn a lot from your children.
Yes, yes, more I think.
you take this and do you apply it in the business environment?
I did a TEDx talk,
Okay.
and my TEDx topic was how motherhood prepared me for CEO.
Oh wow.
And a lot of people have been provoked by their thoughts and actually agree with me, because honestly, mothers make very good CEOs. If they want to be leaders of companies and organizations, the basic skills of leadership, time management, priority management, processes and structure comes from home.
Yeah.
Comes from home. Why? Okay, for example, if you want to have a very good process in a company, standard operating procedure, right?
Yeah.
The best process happens after you do thousands of trial and error. Okay, thousands of times. In a company, you don't have time for it. You don't have time for it to think like that. But at home, you're folding clothes every day, thousands and thousands and thousands. Eventually, you want it to be a system that is so easy. I fold the clothes, I categorize by color, I put in this kind of allotment, so that people know where to find socks, people know how to find clothes. And because of that, your thinking has changed. That every single problem you see, you want to develop a structure. You want to develop a structure, okay? And you apply it in a company, more things are easily solved because you develop structure from the beginning. You charter the pathways in accurate manner. And then over time, you refine here and there, but it's never messy or lost. The other thing that I learned about motherhood is leadership. Because I realized when you have multiple children, they're never identical. They can be raised in the same household, different likings, different passion, different hobbies. So you have to attend this boy. This boy wants to play badminton at 6. This girl wants to do singing at 3. This boy wants to. So you have to, as a parent, you want to create environment that's personalized to every child in order to enhance their strength. Okay, because you don't want to force children to do all piano when two of them are not into piano. And then why are you dragging us into this? So therefore, I realized when it comes to work, it's also leadership is not one size fits all. It's slightly more work when you have to personalize. But if you look at your C-level especially, they are permanent figures in the business, almost permanent. And you want to invest time in making sure that they thrive. Why? Because when C-level thrive, the entire management thrives and the whole company thrives, whether anything happens with CEO. So that's why I practice leadership in a more personalized manner, because I've done it at home 7 years before I start a business. And I learned it through my children, standard processes, and also with time management. So when people go to work and they say, I work 8 hours a day, but to be honest, people only give a productivity maximum 6 hours a day, if not 4. Nobody can work for high effective for 8 hours a day.
Very true.
Cannot, because their mind needs to take a break at some point, and then they get distracted by what they're taking a break from.
And these things are a big distraction.
Exactly, it's a big distraction. So I believe in 4-day working hours a day. I believe in that. And this 4 could be because you only have 4 hours of productivity a day. Okay, that means you want to do as much in that 4 hours. So, for example, what I learned from motherhood is there is 1,000 things to do every day, 1,000 things, right? But you only choose the top 10 priority to complete, and the rest you have to wait another day. You have to push into another day. And when people set their priority right, then it's effective to do work. Because things that make money, for example in business, should be priority revenue. So a lot of businesses that I mentor, Rohit, they spend a lot of time doing things that's unnecessary. For example, improving packaging, relabeling filing, housekeeping their emails. This is secondary. Primarily, you need to go out there and find business, sales prospect, refine your sales approach. This is priority. Whether you like it or not, it should be top 3. And once you do that, you realize the rest of the work, like packaging, you don't want to do, because if you earn money, you outsource. Pay someone else. Have money, so in the end, you work less. Okay, but get more things done. So priority management is important to what I learned in motherhood. And if I wasn't a mother, I don't think I would be as successful in business. So I owe it to my children for giving me the heartache and the headache on a daily basis. But I survived.
Survived and thrived.
I survived and thrived.
Now, I hear a lot of people talk about having gratitude. What is your take on gratitude? Is it all wishy-washy, or it's actually something which helps you as an individual to grow, and also the people around you?
I think being gratitude is a spiritual gesture that you do, and all of us are on a journey in life, okay? Whether we're doing business or careers or whatever, we are in this journey where we need to constantly self-reflect. So if we aren't grateful, actually, people who are less grateful, as we get older, we realize this, and people who are less grateful are unhappy people, the miserable people. And they realize that there's no benefit to being unhappy, even when things don't go their way. You know, when we're young, we hope everything goes our way, but when we get older, we realize, hey, things fail anyway. It happens. I just need to see it at a different light. I'm grateful it happened. What can I get out of it? And I move on to do other things. And just that shift of mindset will actually propel us to success. And the other thing that I want to give advice is people who are appreciative of things. I want people to know that the things that truly make us happy is never big things. It's never big things. It's always small things. That call or that note that your daughter writes for you today, that is more empowering to you than any compliment from any business person. Okay, and so I want people to identify the small things that happen in their life that perks them up in terms of happiness and record it down because they want that to go on a consistent basis. And then they can remain happy despite having troubles in big things. So I look at the things, for example, my favorite food. I'm unhappy. I go to the same bakery store. I get my favorite cake. I don't care what people think of me right now. I'm still going to eat this cake. And I'm going to walk away a happy person. Sounds simple, but simple pleasures. And then all the things that I do with my children. So if I think that I'm so stressed at work and I know that watching a movie with my kids would help, I do it. I make that time not because I want to get away from work, but because that keeps me back in check and sane. So it's always a small thing. Call the loved one in the middle of the day. Yeah, you walked up to a meeting, you just lost a contract. Call somebody you love. Like you would call your niece, hey, things going and stuff like that. Nothing got to do with the contract you lost, but it changed you as a person. And you realize that you're not that upset for long. And then it's easy for you to move on. It's okay to grieve, but you need to find things that keeps you happy. And they're not related to money, status, or followers, and anything like that. So find the small things that form your happiness and let it stay small. Because small things are easy to meet. Favorite food, easy to meet. Today I want to be happy, I want to eat my favorite noodles, I'll go get it. No one's going to stop me, it's going to cost me $5. Easy. If you make happiness a heavy price, for example, a very heavy price to be happy, then you constantly, and you don't have that price, that money to get that happiness, then you're buying happiness. And that's why people cannot be happy, because they cannot afford every happiness. So happiness should be small in small packages. So that's how I see it.
Nice. What is your vision for your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
I was hoping that my business in the future would empower far more women, actually far more individuals to be financially independent, to run their own business and to be happy in their households. And I don't know what this number will be, 100,000 next year, 1 million in 10 years, I don't know. But as long as I have the energy to keep up with it and build the structure, I was hoping that it will continue to empower more by the day. And to me, any milestone, whether it's an extra 10,000 women, extra 5,000 women per year, it is still an achievement because we progressed to the next level. And that's from my career standpoint of view. And as well as I wanted to create more job opportunities for people as well, as long as they're willing to build themselves a fulfilling career with our company. Then I want to be able to be of that authority to do that one day.
Now, we come to the close of the interview. Again, your children are extremely important.
Yes.
They will grow up. I'm sure technology will evolve.
Yes.
Things will change. What is that one thing, or maybe it's more than one thing, that you would recommend them to always do in their life so that they are grounded, they are able to move on, even when the chips are down, things are difficult?
One thing I always tell my children is, so my children don't really know what I do. For many years, they have no idea. Every time they see me travel and work, and they go like, where are you going? I said, well, I have to work. And then she says, but can't you take a day off? And I said, well, I have to work because that's how we upkeep our home and our food and everything, right? And then at some point, they got older, and they're on YouTube, and they're on Facebook, and then they realize what their mother does, So, and then they start going around, my mom is a CEO, she's a TEDx speaker and stuff like that, So they start to like, my mom built this company and stuff, and I never told them, So they found out themselves, and they see the awards at home, and they found my pictures at universities, they're so proud of their
Okay.
mother, right? And then I just break it to them and I say to their face, what I built is not yours. I said, what I built is not yours. I want you to remember that you will build your own success. The only thing that I'm going to leave behind with you is skills to survive and thrive. That's all. You have nothing else from me. Okay, so if you want something out of me, you got to work hard for it. And if you want to be successful, just remember your parents are leaving nothing for you. I'm giving away the charity. Okay? And that's one lesson. It's very important to tell children, especially when they can see your value, your potential wealth, and they make this conclusion in their head. Because you never tell them exactly how much money you have.
Yes.
So they make their own conclusion. Oh, my mom could be millionaire or something, and they start to think, no, I don't have to work, right? Because my mom loves me so much, okay? So from the very beginning, I already put this in your head that I love you so much. That is why I'm gonna let you build your own success.
Beautiful.
And good luck to that.
Beautiful.
So I
Amen. God bless.
Yes, yes. So they know that they get nothing from their parents. And I say, if you have a problem, you need help, I'll help you. In terms of giving you advice. Okay, but other than that, nothing.
Oh, that's really, really amazing.
That's an important message because the more you make your children think independently of you from the beginning, that's how they always think. And it will help them in the future in terms of being in a relationship with other people, in terms of building their career. They start to be less dependent on people. Their happiness will be dependent only from themselves.
So it's an inner game.
Yes, it's all about them. How much they want to earn, where they want to go, where they want to live. It's all about them. You want to live in another country, then you learn to survive yourself. So then they go, okay, I'll go anyway. I said, good for you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Leza,
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much for having me.